Okay, now we're on to assembly. As you can see, my beer's getting low, so this rebuild is about done. Needle. Old float. Gasket. Don't make the mistake of putting all that together and then not have the gasket on. Ask me how I know that. Float. Spring. I should have a new needle retainer somewhere, but oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah. New one, old one. Doesn't matter really which, but that's what we're going with. Put that on the You can hang these off of the float too and drop them in. Sometimes it's easier to do it that way. You gotta line your spring up and a little top hat. Just like that. Drop it in there. Spring goes on that little piece. It's like a little tab that sticks out the front. There's the spring. And you pin it. Pin set. Float height. Usually you want about 1/4 of an inch. So this one with the new needle is just a hair high. Then you want to check float drop also. You adjust the float drop by bending the tab in the back. Sorry, out of the focus there. The little tab in the back gives you more float drop. That's going to be okay. Typically, I'll run my float just a hair lower than 1/4 inch just so I get good seal when the bowl fills up. If you run it too low, the bowl doesn't really fill up and could starve it of fuel, but for the most part, I haven't had any trouble running it this way. And that's the way I'm going to leave it. This little doodad, people tend to screw up. So it only goes one way. Small side of the Venturi goes in the base. It only fits one way. You put it in that way, you're going to smash piss out of it. Okay, so put it in before the gasket or after the gasket. It really doesn't matter. You just don't want to drop it in sideways like an idiot, like I did. So there you go. And it sits up in there. No problem. You tip it over, it drops down. That's how it rides in the carburetor. Down like that. This baby goes together just like so. Backwards, trying to look at it in the camera. You do want to make sure you get your Venturi in the right spot. There. See how it drops down flush on the bottom? If it's gapped up a 1/4 inch, your Venturi's wrong and you're about to screw it up and have a bad day. Okay, that's that. No extra parts. Get these all in where they go. Put the sediment bowl back on. We're ready to put it back on the tractor. I would like to thank my wife. She doesn't know it, but building this on the kitchen table, pretty handy. She's pretty good at putting up my shenanigans when it comes to building stuff inside. Okay, so there's that. Throttle, choke. Throttle feels much tighter than it did before. Still a little movement, more in and out than side to side though this time. So choke is 1000% better than it was. Tighten these babies up. Have this wrapped up. This thing will go back on this weekend. Now these you do want to tighten up a little bit because I mean, that's your main seal between the two carb halves is that bowl gasket. So don't be shy on those, but I mean within reason. Now let's go back around, hit them again. Sediment bowl. These little things are awesome. They work so well, so stupid simple. But you do want to make sure you keep your little brass crush washers. If you need to replace them, I mean, they're about the same size like a banjo bolt washer. So if you need to get new ones, pretty much any auto parts store would have them. You just got to go match up the size. Make sure your banjo bolt's clean. There's nothing in there hiding. Good to go. That back on and we're ready for the tractor. Actually, pretty sure mine goes to the outside, not the inside. Had this thing off and on so many times, it's confusing. Okay, there you go. Done. Ford Carb Marvel Shebler TSX 813 complete. Should be probably an 813 on just about any 800 series or 900, 4000, any 172, depending on year. Probably has an 813. So there you go. There she is. Ready to go back on the tractor. I guess I should have painted it up real nice, but doesn't matter.